Oh, okay, everybody. This one's gonna be a little bit of a doozy. So, many of you guys will probably be able to recall the discourse that blew up the internet. It's kind of dying down now, but it's still kind of burning. There's still a little bit of smoke there. Still a little bit of cinder. Still a little bit of coals burning from the Hogwarts Legacy discourse. Now, the part of it that I'm referring to is this moral panic that happened where people were talking about how trans people were going to streamers' chats that were live streaming Hogwarts Legacy and harassing them. And at the time, it really seemed like this was probably happening. There are a lot of woke scolds online, and they can be pretty ravenous, and that is kind of in line with them. But at the same time, they're not very... They don't get around, you know? They don't do a lot of, like, going out and finding strangers or, like, conservatives and dunking on them. They usually just attack lefty figures they know that are popular to try to get, like, woke points. So, now that you think back on it, like, with hindsight, it seemed a little off, right? As it turned out, a large amount, certainly not all of, but a large amount of the trans activists, quote-unquote, that were harassing these YouTubers that were streaming Hogwarts Legacy were actually Nazi incel trolls masquerading as trans people online in order to do what is called black propaganda. Black propaganda is a form of propaganda intended to create the impression that it was created by those it is supposed to discredit. Black propaganda contrasts with gray propaganda, which does not identify its source, as well as white propaganda, which does not disguise its origins at all. So essentially, black propaganda would be a video made by a conservative in which, pretending to be a lefty, they say, actually, I think trans people grooming kids is good, or something like that. That would be black propaganda. Propaganda made by a conservative, made to look like it's from lefties, supporting something conservatives believe lefties believe, right? And that's exactly what the conservative, troll campaign was. And you may know it by the term PSYOP as well, but that's a little bit more of a LARPy term. But black propaganda, I think, is, accurate. Regardless, there was a bit of a situation involving a certain VTuber. Now, I'm just going to say this. I do not watch VTubers. VTubers are just not my cup of tea, I guess. I'm not really into that community. I don't think I could name a popular VTuber. Yeah. It's a pretty popular community. There are a fucking lot of them. It's a huge... Oh, yeah, Seethes. Wait, hold on. Seethes is a VTuber. I forgot. Wait. We do have a VTuber in chat. Seethes. But yeah, like the VTuber community at large, like the big, like, clout VTuber people, I don't know any of them. I'm not really, like, even slightly tapped in on that community. However, thankfully other people that I'm friends with are. We're gonna start this segment by reading a thread from a friend of mine who I actually met in real life the other day, Conyer, who posted this. There's an industrial complex of VTubers forming that are grifting off Hogwarts Legacy and the harassment they're getting for it is coming from incel Nazis pretending to be trans now. So this is the VTuber in question, I guess. Pipkin Pippa. Today's stream. I hate this franchise, but I hate people on Twitter more. I mean, if you don't like the series, then why play it? Have fun, though, because people like this. I made a video to explain why Pikami deserved what she got, and Pippa deserves the same. You should watch it if you're a transphobe. Do you ever accidentally use 4chan lingo in real life, Kek? Goy slop? Oh my god, these people. Jesus Christ. That's definitely an anti-Semitic 4chan fucking abomination word. Anon, etc. I called someone the N-word once. Okay, so this is posted by the person... Oh, okay, so this is clearly, like, because if you look back on their account, you can see like the anti-trans comments, but now they're trolling and pretending to be like a trans person. Okay. All right. I see what this is depicting here. I was confused. I'm tired, okay? I'm really sleepy, all right? Zan's sleepy. Strangely, there's more anti-trans harassment in these comment sections than anyone playing the Wizard games ever gotten. It's almost like the right's been trying to fabricate and magnify this harassment to make trans people look bad because they don't think trans people should exist. Lamal, this one's an anti-Semite. Here, she's playing a game that references a one-world government, talks about how there's already a group of people running the world, while her chat spams oy vey. In another clip, she references the Happy Merchant meme after a donation. Lame AF.
But Kate... Angel, what if I told you? If I told you that it's already... It's already like that. What if I told you that there's already a group of people running the world right now, and they have been for hundreds of years? They're even trying to reduce the world population to 1 billion, or so some conspiracy theorists say. What if I told you, K-Angel, that it's not about the population number? It's about who is left.
She got pissed off because Vosh called her a Nazi? No shit. Nazis get mad when you call them out for being Nazis? Whoa.
Oh, or Weiss, thank you for the 937. Thanks for the stream, Pips. Have my shekels. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the... I'm rubbing my hands. Thank you for the shekels. What the fuck? I don't know. Whatever. Thank you, guys.
I don't know, guys. Maybe she's just edgy. I think she might be a Nazi. I'm gonna be honest. I think I got some Hitler particle vibes, just sort of radiating off that particular VTuber. Quote unquote, Pip doesn't fuck around. You'll see, she doesn't give a shit. Your queen is a coward and only keeps you around for your money. Follow your leader. I got blocked. Now, this is just a brief little tweet thread. It got a good amount of hype, though. And yes, it is true that it's turned out a large amount of the supposed trans activists harassing streamers that were playing Hogwarts Legacy were in fact part of a pretty loosely organized 4chan op to basically, you know, make it look like trans people are a bunch of rabid, angry, woke scolds trying to attack people for playing a video game. Now, of course, there are people out there doing that, but the right, particularly on 4chan, has made a habit of engaging in these sort of very loosely organized psyops, particularly on Twitter and Reddit before, right? It's not unheard of. There's like the posts about it and everything. I remember Operation Pridefall was a really big one. Now, I'm gonna move our attention over a little bit. We're not going to watch this whole video because honestly, I don't know if I have the patience or the energy to. But we're going to move our attention over a little bit to a bit of backstory, alright? Who here remembers... I sped it up a little bit, don't worry, Cherry. Who here remembers my last big anti-Lolicon arc? I'm going to have to give you guys some painful exposition here. For those of you guys that don't know, in the anime community, there is a phrase called lolly. A lolly is a girl in an anime, or I guess like a manga, like the written anime stuff, who looks very young. Now, I would not advise you to go on Google and search lolly and look at images, because very quickly, if you did that, you would probably end up on a list for starters. 2, if you're normal, you'll probably need a little bit of therapy afterwards. And 3, you'll very quickly realize, oh, so this is just... These are just children. These are just little girls. That's what these are, but they're anime. That's what this is. Here's the thing, though. While many lollies are, in fact, canonically just straight up underage. A very common defense used by lolicons, another vocabulary word here, lolicons being consumers of lolly porn. A very common defense used by lolicons is they're actually, in this case, I guess in particular cases, actually this character may look like a child, but they are in fact a, I don't know, 10,000-year-old dragon woman, right? Or dragon vampire or something, right? I don't know the actual, what's the exact meme? Does anyone know? She's a 5,000-year-old dragonborn. What's the meme? Can someone quote it word for word? It's a very popular meme. Does anyone have like the word 10,000-year-old dragon? Is that it? It's just that? I feel like it was more than that. Like there was more to the meme than that. But okay, regardless, it's not important. Yeah, it's a very common defense, which right off the cuff should tell you these people know that their sexual interest in drawn children is weird, and something they probably even internally are ashamed of. However, despite that, there is a growing community of lolicons on the internet. I would honestly say they're pedophiles. I think most of you guys would agree. They're pedophiles. And I've gotten into fights with them numerous times in the past. And as you can imagine, based on the fact that VTubers do tend to have, like, anime avatars, there are a lot of VTubers with lolly avatars who heavily market themselves to guys who are into lolly. And it's generally very creepy. And we're going to be actually looking at one of those figures today, though it might not be exactly what you expect. But first, a little bit of Xanderhal related backstory, okay? So, I actually don't remember when this would have been. Time's kind of muddled for me. When did Cyberpunk Edgerunners come out, chat? How long has it been since Cyberpunk Edgerunners came out? I feel like it's been a long time and not that long at the same time. Like 6 to 8 months ago, early winter. Damn, it's been a while. Okay. It's been a while. Regardless. Cyberpunk Edgerunners came out, and for those that don't know, it was this cyberpunk universe, like, you probably know about Cyberpunk, very popular franchise, cyberpunk universe anime. And it was very good. I actually didn't watch it until after it all come out, and it was, like, already been out for a little bit, but I actually was a little bit late to watching Cyberpunk Edgerunners. It was already really popular and everyone was talking about it, and my introduction to the show was seeing a lot of sex workers that I follow cosplaying a particular character. A character named Rebecca. Now, maybe it was just my introduction to this character being from very much of age women cosplaying this character. I felt like going into watching this show, yeah, this Rebecca character is very clearly just an adult who's short. She doesn't even really look childlike besides her height. I guess her eyes are kind of big, and she's got sort of a big forehead, but, like, everything about her vibe and her look is very adult-like, you know, her proportions, her demeanor, her dress, her, like, everything about her is adult woman. She's just kind of a short stack, right? And that was my impression in the show, right? And that is canonically what she is in the show as well. I definitely don't think Rebecca qualifies as a lolly, or being attracted to Rebecca is pedo shit. In fact, I think the vast majority of people agree with that. Like, that seems to be the overwhelmingly popular opinion. However, you'd be surprised to find out that the lolicons have been adamantly arguing that Rebecca is in fact a lolicon. Or a lolly. They use a quote from one of the people who worked on on Cyberpunk 2077, referring to her as a lolly in response to somebody calling her a lolly who didn't work on the show. The quote was, "The lolly must stay." And what they've tried to do, yeah, the lolly stays quote. What these people have tried to do is essentially say, oh, this is a big win for the normalization of lollies, because they see Rebecca as like an in to the normalization of their drawn child porn. Now, I, of course, decided, you know what? I just watched Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I thought it was really good. Me and my friends binged it all in one night. It was fantastic. I'm going to take on one of the more popular figures claiming this, because one of these videos popped up in my recommended when I was watching theory videos about the ending of Edgerunners. The YouTuber in question, one of the Lolicon pedo YouTubers in question, who has, and this should scare you, okay? This is a pedo channel on YouTube with 617,000 subscribers. To be fair, his sub count actually hasn't increased much since last time I encountered him, so that's at least during the Cyberpunk shit. But hey, at least there's that. This guy seems to be the epicenter of Lolicon like pedo chud shit online right now, or at least on YouTube. Now, obviously, this Rev Says Desu person we're about to cover is prepare yourselves for this VTuber avatar. We've got our 1,000-year-old vampire 12-year-old here. Yeah, we're dealing with this guy again. For those that don't know, last time I dealt with this guy, I had death threats from pedophiles for weeks, spamming me lolly shit. Thank God Twitter has that built-in, like, you can't send media to people that, like, you don't follow. Like, people can't send media to you unless you follow them, their DMs. Dude, Rev targeted me once. Yeah, his fans will send you death threats and child porn. That's what the brigades are. So, like, to be very clear, this is we are literally kicking a hornet's nest of pedophiles right now. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Me making this video is kicking a hornet's nest of pedophiles, and the next week may just be me, like, arguing with pedophiles. That may be what ends up happening because of this segment, alright? But, apparently this dumb pedo motherfucker called out Conyer, my good friend. So we're going in, alright? I wish I had a gas mask. Alright. Hold on, I'm gonna pause the hightail music. I really wish I could keep it on to soothe my pulsing synapses, but...
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. Today we're going to be talking about the FaZe Connect member Pippa Pipkin, who has found herself as the latest target of Twitter freaks. Pippa has now joined the ranks of people like Silvervale.
Oh, something you'll notice, by the way, is that these Lolicon pedos will very oftentimes use, like, gross out insults towards those that don't like them. Like, they'll call them freaks or weirdos, right? It's like, you're calling people that are weirded out by you being a pedo and jacking off to drawings of children freaks and weirdos. The projection is very strong. Oh god, and it's a guy voicing a little girl, very cringe. Wait, you thought this was going to be a girl voicing this? No, we're talking about the Lolicon pedo people. This is a grown-ass man.
Herself as the latest target of Twitter freaks. Pippa has now joined the ranks of people like Silvervale, Pikami, and other streamers who are harassed.
I want to be clear, by the way, this channel has over 600,000 subscribers. This video has over 100,000 views. When I say we are in the depths of a new right-wing dark age, I fucking mean it. So much so that literal Lolicon pedo YouTubers are getting hundreds of thousands of subs. Like, I don't know how this guy hasn't been destroyed yet. Like, this guy's basically just, like, any day now going to get called out by Keemstar and it's fucking over. Like even Keemstar just has to come along and call this guy out because he's just, like, an open Lolicon YouTuber. YouTubers get canceled over being into Lolicon. It's over when it gets found out they're into that shit. So this guy's just openly a defender of that stuff and even a representative of that shit. Like, this guy's only got so long till his, shit gets dug up. Like, Turkey Tom's gonna make a video or something. Like, this boy is on thin ice. Like, pedos don't last long on YouTube before they get exposed to the broader, like, landscape, and it's just kind of over for them, generally speaking.
For even thinking about streaming Hogwarts Legacy. However, given her personality and the type of community she has, attempting to cancel Pippa for streaming this game, it just feels different than the other harassment campaigns. One that seems like it was a lot more invited and made with the intention of mocking the outrage that would come with streaming this game. So in this video, we're going to talk about how this outrage boosted her stream, and then we're going to look at the more unhinged quote retweets relating to that. Then we're going to look at a viral thread attempting to cancel her, and then we'll end with a
"Whoa, it's Conyer! Whoa, it's Hassan! I know those people!"
guest cameo from the man, the myth, the meme, Hassan Piker, or as he was formerly known, Brotip. So we're going to start with this tweet right here. It is the tweet promoting her Hogwarts Legacy stream.
The bro tip videos are so fucking funny. By the way, one of my favorite things, I feel like the popularity of Sam Hyde was actually one of the things that's tipped me off to the fact that we're entering another age of right-wing, like another right-wing dark age, I guess is what we'll call it. That a guy can literally go in front of an audience and do like a death threat meme toward, like, a guy who is like, there's a pretty good amount of evidence that Sam Hyde's probably an actual Nazi. Like, can go up on stage and basically yell a death threat to the most popular lefty figure out there, and for like a year plus after that, the entire internet is like, Sam Hyde's in the right. It's the same thing as like Boogie and that Frank Hassel guy. The Frank Hassel dude, who is like an edgelord, like provocateur, shock jock dude, who went to Boogie's house and was like banging on the door, and then Boogie went out and, like an idiot, shot a warning shot into the air, but like everyone gave him shit for even pointing his gun at Frank Hassel. Like, under no circumstances are you in the wrong for pointing a gun or shooting someone who is trespassing on your property after long-term harassment online. Like, but the internet found every excuse to make Frank Hassel be in the right and all of that, and Boogie be in the wrong, despite the fact that someone literally stalked him and came to his house because Boogie is unpopular to like. Whatever internet culture is, like, leaning against or for, they will be in favor or biased against the most insane shit. They will look past the most disgusting, horrible shit that they will destroy somebody's career over much less. It just depends on who it is and what the internet culture is generally more biased towards. And so I feel like Sam Hyde was a good example of that.
Tip. So we're going to start with this tweet right here. It is the tweet.
It's not Frank Castle. It's Frank space Hassel. Because he, like, hassles you.
Promoting her Hogwarts Legacy stream. This is a stream that has already happened. It was something we talked about briefly in my previous video, but we're going to go a little more in depth. So as you can see, the number of likes. 40,000 likes on a tweet promoting a stream. That is an insane number. I cannot stress that to you enough. Like, she is popular enough to get many likes on her tweets, but not that many. This is more likes on a tweet than someone like Gar Gura gets on a tweet promoting one of her streams. So how did this happen? Well, you can thank people like the Twitter freaks for making this happen. Just like the
Wait. Oh, okay. So instead of it, I mean, obviously this person's like a chud grifter type, but like, instead of acknowledging that 4chan does like regular ops like this to try to cause like political instability online, you're gonna pretend like trans people being mad about the wizard game made the game more popular and made people playing the game more popular. This is the same level of delusion of people saying that, like, people, like, streamers playing the game supports transphobia and people who are transphobic made the game popular. Like, that is in no way the case. Hogwarts Legacy is a fucking Harry Potter game. It is the dream Harry Potter game of any Harry Potter fan. The game was going to be huge regardless. Streamers playing it was going to be huge regardless. Trans people, even online, are a ridiculously small proportion of people on the internet. They did not play a substantial part in the popularity or the increase in sales in the game. Like, not even the Spite purchases made a dent in the amount of sales the game was going to get regardless. It was this year's Elden Ring. That is what Hogwarts Legacy is. It was this year's Elden Ring. It was going to be big no matter what.
The boycott of Hogwarts Legacy that is now approaching $1 billion in sales. Any sort of outrage stemming to tweets like this and promotions like this backfire by giving free publicity to millions and millions of people. In fact,
for the record, this person's a Lolicon pedo and thinks that trans people are groomers and is on like the trans groomer, like anti-trans, like haha thing, like that whole thing. So like, to be clear, the amount of crossover between transphobes and pedophiles is alarming and unsurprising.
In this case, 4.7 million people who saw this tweet alone.
The Venn diagram's like a circle at this point.
So here's the thing. People construe this immediately as proof that Pippa hates trans people, when in reality, this stream was made with, I'm not trying to read her mind or anything, but it seems like she was making this stream with the main intention of poking the bee's nest, poking the hornet's nest, and making fun of the outrage that stemmed from the Pika-me situation and the harassment that she received. And it doesn't really work when you attack someone like Pippa, whose community is 100% okay with this. You can't cancel her for attacking her for streaming this game because that's...
Well, because she's a Nazi. She was doing JQ and white replacement shit in her stream and talking about shekels and shit. Yeah, obviously the Nazi VTuber e-girl, like anime girl, streamer isn't going to get any shit. Wait, are they not? Yeah, this is the one that was doing the JQ stuff, right? Maybe I've got my videos mixed up. Hold on, let me make sure I've got my clips. Is that... Yeah, this is the same one. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same one they're referring to right now.
But
Pippa.
Kate Angel, what if I told you?
Or Pippi, or whatever.
If I told you that it's already like that. What if I told you that there's already a group of people running the world right now, and they have been for hundreds of years?
Yeah, it's pretty... Yeah, I think that's what Rev Says Desu means by, yeah, Pippa's audience won't care. Yeah, because they're a Nazi streamer.
That's just not how canceling people online works, and we'll talk about that later. But it really just goes to show you that Twitter freaks have so little power over people like Pippa who simply don't care, right? She obviously does not care too much about the backlash. In fact, I'm sure it was expected.
How do people watch this cringe Nazi shit? There are not a lot of places online that are like large platforms sympathetic to pedophilia. This is one of them that's remained sort of like untouched by like the TOS. Remember guys, YouTube has been basically non-existent with their TOS enforcement lately. They've been really trying to make YouTube profitable, so they've been banning a lot less. They've been striking a lot less. Even the false strikes have almost disappeared. I've noticed that like overall enforcement of TOS has gone down across YouTube. So yeah, it's no surprise that even like large pedo channels are getting away with it.
Or even invited in this situation. So as for the stream itself, I'm being told it was her highest concurrent viewer of any stream. At one point she peaked over 6K, which was even more than her 100K feet stream. That just gives you an idea of how much the stream popped off, which is pretty expected with a promotion like this. But the vibe of the stream was great. It was made with the full intent of mocking the situation. And as someone, as she said, she doesn't even like Harry Potter. I don't like Harry Potter, but like her, I feel like it's just created an us versus them narrative with all the outrage that you want to promote and play things that...
Okay, can we skip ahead to the Kanye tweet? Alright, here we go. Viral Twitter thread attempts to cancel Pippa. Ah yes, the person who is literally saying JQ shit.
Now, of course, the campaigns against Pippa continued on, not just in those quote retweets, but in separate threads like this, with over 30,000 likes, by the way, calling out Pippa, saying that there is an industrial complex of VTubers forming that are grifting off Hogwarts Legacy, and the harassment they're getting for it is coming from incel Nazis pretending to be trans. Industrial complex of VTubers grift.
Is he actually going to like freak out over the term industrial complex? I mean, I guess if we're really this desperate to make excuses for this person, then like you are gonna have to grasp at straws like nitpicking the wording, the hyperbolic wording of a group of content creators all engaging in the same grift. Okay.
Grifting, incel Nazis. I don't think any of these words are in the Bible, by the way, but
okay.
Imagine, unironically making this statement, basically saying that there's an entire complex of VTubers grifting off of manufactured harassment against trans people made...
Bro, imagine making this statement. Isn't it crazy to make this statement, bro? Anyway, let's move on. Wasn't that a good argument?
By incels and weirdos who are trying to paint trans people as the aggressors and harassers in the situation. Which, again, it's not just trans people. It's people across all spectrums harassing people who are playing this game. So, They use an example. I'm not going to get into it too much. I saw the tweet too. It is a link to a video, and I can't even show the thumbnail because it's too much for YouTube. But basically, it's a very obvious parody. Like, this person is impersonating someone who is angry about the Hogwarts Legacy streaming. They're trying to say that Pika-Me deserved the...
So they're doing a psyop. Is this like the cope? Is that it's obvious? So how many, like, you do realize that, like, these 4chan accounts were probably making tons of alt Twitters, or not alt Twitters, alt Twitch accounts, like they tend to do when they raid my chat. It's not very hard for them. They do it pretty quickly. They seem to have a lot of those alts on hand. And just pretend to be trans people triggered about streamers playing Hogwarts Legacy. They know it's effective. They know they just have to get, like, 30 or 40 of their friends together and say Asmongold's chat and start a shit fit, and they can make one of the largest Twitch streamers talk about how the trans people are losing their mind, and it has a huge effect on internet culture. That they're smart enough and in tune enough with internet culture to know this. And I think this Rev Uwu person is in tune enough to know this as well. I think they're lying through their teeth.
Harassment, and with about 10 seconds of looking into their video and their account, you know they're trolling. And whether you think that trolling is annoying or offensive or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's still just obvious. And they can only point to one example of this happening. And the funniest thing is, you can point to one example and...
Well, I mean, the Pippa person is literally a Nazi who's specifically streaming Hogwarts Legacy to upset trans people that are sad and mad that money from the game is going to fund a very powerful person who's using her platform and her wealth to advocate against the existence of trans people at a time where we're pretty much closer than ever to a genocide against trans people. So yeah, I'd say it's pretty sus.
And make a giant blanket for all VTubers that there's an industrial complex of VTubers grifting over this game over fake harassment, and yet you ignore the hundreds and hundreds of documented harassment and other hateful rhetoric directed at streamers who wanted to play this game. It just goes to show you, it's all a joke. And they go on to say, strangely, there's more anti-trans harassment in these comment sections than anyone playing the Wizard game has ever gotten. It's almost like the right's been trying to fabricate and magnify this harassment to make trans people look bad because they don't think trans people should exist. Yes, I mean...
Well, that is objectively true. Yes, that is what the right does.
What did Kotaku pay you to write this comment? So
one of my favorite, like, conservative, like, jabs is the idea, literally Gamergate. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, it's the Kotaku thing's a very, like, Gamergate era thing. We guys, I told you over a year ago, all right? It's like that episode of South Park they did where they apologize for denying climate change because they were fucking wrong with their original Man Bear Pig episode with Al Gore. So they did a redo episode more recently, and they go to Al Gore and they're like, okay, it turns out Man Bear Pig is real. How do we stop him? And Al Gore says, you stop him by listening to me all those years ago. That particular line makes me laugh very hard.
Once again, gaslighting is a very common fixture in this whole campaign, basically saying it never happened, and we have the proof that it's happened among hundreds of users directing their hate towards these streamers, just like I said. We don't have to go into that anymore, but the gaslighting and denial is really... we expect it at this point, right? So then she shows a couple of clips, there's 2 clips, proving that Pippa is an anti-Semite. So
Play the clips. Play the clips, let's see them.
The first one is a long one where basically Pippa is making, like, she's saying, like, a conspiracy theory.
Come on, play the clips. Play the clips.
And then the last one, she's saying thanks for the shekels in terms of a donation, and then rubbing her hands together. Maybe a little offensive to people, sure. But here's the thing.
Why didn't you play the clips? Only 22 seconds. I played the clips. Why not play the clips? Why not, like, break it up like I do? This is a 24-minute video. You clearly have the time. Hell, you probably jammed a whole bunch of mid-roll ads in here. The longer the runtime, the more mid-roll ads. There was no reason not to do that.
If you're trying to cancel someone over this sort of behavior, you don't do it when their community is okay with it. This is the whole thing about cancel culture, right?
The reason criticizing somebody for doing bad things isn't always done under the impression that their audience is going to be like, wow, I had no idea they did these bad things. I'm going to unsubscribe now. If anything, this is just bringing to attention, I assume this is a Twitch streamer, bring the attention to Twitch that this is like a Nazi VTuber so that they can ban her. That would definitely work as far as canceling goes. I mean, that would very effectively work. But no, like, criticizing somebody and calling out their bullshit publicly doesn't necessarily mean you're trying to get their audience to turn on them. I'm pretty certain Kanye literally mentioned in the tweet, the audience is like spamming oy vey and stuff in the chat. So I'm pretty sure Kanye knows that this tweet isn't going to make the chat go, oh, wow, I didn't realize this this VTuber was a Nazi. I better get out of here. Why was I in here spamming Sheckelstein memes and oy vey?
Right? People think making a thread like this, calling out Pippa over a edgy joke, is going to cancel her. And no matter how many likes this whole thing's going to get, she is not canceled from any of this.
Hey, scroll down to where it shows that she blocked Kanye.
Because in order to cancel someone on the internet, you need to make their audience turn on them by exposing something they never knew about the content creator. In this case, everyone is okay. Any person in Pippa's community is okay with these kinds of edgy jokes. You are not going to make any fan of her community immediately turn around and go,
Well, this is what I mean by, like, conservative dark age. It's when the platforms don't really care about disgusting shit kind of proliferating on them, and, like, these weirdos are allowed to fester. I mean, Nick Fuentes was literally doing JQing on YouTube for years before they finally banned him. Like, Nick Fuentes was massive on YouTube, getting thousands and thousands of viewers watching him live on every stream before he finally got banned from YouTube and Twitch. It all happened at once. Like, oh my god, I hate when they call any criticism canceling. Well, it's the buzzwords, right? You have to cram in as many buzzwords that make, like, chuds afraid as possible. And we're talking pedo chuds here that are gonna be watching this guy, so yeah. I cannot fucking handle this right-wing bullshit told through a lolly VTube avatar. Like, it's really hard to watch this when you know this guy jacks off to this avatar. And probably... Oh no. This guy definitely commissions porn of this avatar. You know he totally does. You know these people. Everything they say about the left and trans people has always been projection. These are the most fucked up weirdos you'll ever find. Like, knowing what you know about these types of people and knowing what you know about this person. Come on, tell me you don't know. Come on. I don't know if I can watch any more of this.
See her in a new light now, I'm leaving. That's not going to happen. The only people who are going to be angry about this are going to be people who had no interest in the first place. It's people who have no understanding of who Pippa is in the first place. They really have no understanding of VTubing and content creation in the first place. And just
okay, I will say, something hilarious to me is that when this guy made his video response to me criticizing him loving Lolly and all that, his response was, he clearly doesn't understand anime or Lolly enough. That was this guy's criticism to me, that I haven't seen or understood enough anime or Lolly to make the judgments that I've made. This guy's I'm starting to realize a pattern here. I've seen 2 of this guy's videos, and I'm starting to realize this dumb fuck's pattern is literally just telling somebody they don't understand this niche community that they have of weirdo VTuber pedophiles and incel Nazis.
Just take these things on its own little pedestal and try to cancel them from that. And it doesn't work. If you look through the replies to this thread...
I don't even know what they're doing is weird. Oh, the reason why this person keeps calling Kanye and everyone else, like, you know, making these posts weird is because, like, literally look at any den of depraved lolicons on Twitter. If you kick that hornet's nest, they will start calling you disgusting, a weirdo, a freak, for criticizing them. They will say that you are a weirdo for thinking they're pedophiles because you're thinking about pedophilia. They will literally say that to you. And they will do it in droves, okay? Something you have to realize is that pedophiles are a very rabid and self-protective community online. They will protect their own, and they've gotten to the point where they're very good at conglomerating in large places. I mean, they used to do it in real life, right? Like, there were entire, like, organizations, like the Man Boy Love Association, the one that was based around, like, normalizing pedophilic relationships between men and boys. Yeah, like this shit's just moved to the internet now. Now they're just Twitter communities and like YouTube channels. It just moved to the internet in the same way that Nazis and hate groups did.
The majority of them are saying thanks for the recommendation.
Nambla. Oh, was that the South Park meme? Was the Man Boy Love Association the South Park meme? What's it called? What's NAMBLA? What's the NAMBLA acronym stand for? Yeah, I referenced the South Park meme. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm tired, okay? What's NAMBLA's fucking acronym? What's that stand for? Help me out, chat. I don't know. North American Man Boy Love Association. Thank you. That's the acronym. Yeah, like, those people are now just on the internet with big YouTube channels, and they've all realized that on their own, they're just going to get bullied off of the internet because they're fucking pedophiles, and everyone hates pedophiles. So they've formed massive communities where they can out-bully normal people. Like, can you imagine being bullied by pedophiles? It's pretty, it's pretty, like, upsetting to get bullied by literal pedophiles, okay? So that's their method, right? They get into large numbers and they bully people who don't like pedophiles, and they do what was once done to them now that they've kind of gotten their numbers and they can zerg you, so to say.
I'm going to go follow her now. I'm going to go sub to her now. It backfires completely because people don't understand how cancel culture works. It's the same thing every time I'm canceled or people try to cancel me. It's the same stuff. They'll bring up like, oh, you defend Lolicon, and you think Lolicons aren't pedos, and it's like, yeah, that's my stance that everyone knows. You're not bringing any.
As I mentioned, this is like a known pedo YouTuber and a large community of lolicons and pedophiles. They're synonymous, but like I'm just clarifying. Like it is not unknown that this person's a lolicon.
Anything new to the table. You're not shocking any of my viewers. Like, great, Twitter people dislike me anymore. I don't care. That's not how canceling people works. But they end with this thing. This always makes me laugh.
Bro, how are you going to be open about that? Soak done left. I need you to see how massive this channel is, okay? This is a massive... Holy shit, he made another video about Rebecca, like... Block these freak antis. For those that don't know, antis are like anti-lolicons. See, they use the term freak here in the thumbnail. See, they like to use the word freak and like sicko and any term that's like aptly descriptive of pedos for this huge Twitter freak drama. Look at how much like projection there is. It's so much projection. I love it. Twitter freaks found a new target. I wonder if they use Twitter like they use freaks in every title. This person's this person definitely had a meltdown over Japan raising the age of consent. Did you see Lolicon Twitter melting down over Japan raising the age of consent from 14? Like it was the biggest meltdown you might have like ever seen on Twitter. It was like their 9/11. Japan raising their age of consent by 2 years was their 9/11. Yeah, this channel has 617,000 subscribers and regularly pulls over 100,000 views. This is a literal pedo den, and YouTube doesn't give a shit. And you know who else does not give a shit? The right-wing YouTubers and the grifters that claim to give a shit about pedophiles. Have you noticed that, like, Shoe-on-Head has never covered this person? Could you imagine, like, I would be so fucking thrilled if Shoe-on-Head covered this person. Like, look at how much material there is here. But there is no, like, market in attacking right-wing pedophiles, no matter how, you know, numerous they are and how much power they have. Because, well, for some reason they're not seen as cringy as trans people. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. A large part of the groomer narrative is centered around featuring a cringy trans pedophile. Because here's the thing. To a lot of conservatives, pedophilia is not that big a deal, principally speaking. There are plenty of pedophilic relationships conservatives are completely fine with. Like a 30-year-old teacher raping a 13-year-old student, they're fine with that. A 40-year-old man marrying a 12-year-old girl and impregnating her, they're fine with that. Conservatives are okay with pedophilia, principally speaking. What amplifies their hatred of the particular pedophilia they perceive is their perceived, like, disgust response and cringiness they see in trans people, right? Like, they want the reason why they show, like, they're not showing videos of like extremely passing trans women at drag shows that kids are at. They're showing videos of drag shows where it's like a trans woman or a drag queen with a beard that's like spray painted green and like a big wig and a dress and like lots of body hair. Like, they specifically want it to seem like the supposed pedophile in the scenario is also cringe. And it's the cringe that is like the modifying factor that makes it bad. And most importantly, makes it entertaining to their audiences. So yeah, there is no market in dunking on these Lolicon hives that are on Twitter and YouTube. So you're not going to see a lot of figures calling it out. But I expect that soon enough, this person's going to be figured out by a large majority of YouTube. Jesus fucking Christ. Some of these thumbnails are fucking insane. Look at these thumbnails, dude. At least not all of these are lolly, but Jesus Christ. How is this allowed? I told you guys, YouTube's allowing hate speech, everything. YouTube's been, like, unironically very, very low. Like, has not been doing well financially. YouTube's been operating at a massive loss. They're probably trying to, like, pull back the, like the veil or like the moderation to try to make more money. Yeah. That's barely cropped out lolly porn. Yeah. Yeah, no, that YouTube doesn't care. Here, we got a good meme that kind of summarizes all of this. We only want to fuck drawings of kids. These teaslers are groomers. This is the normalization of pedophilia and degeneracy. They're after their kids. This is quite literally just an illustration of all of this in one image. It really doesn't get more perfect than this. Hold on, there's one last video I have to show. Does anybody have the video of the Lolicon at that convention threatening to attack that woman? So the account is called Ministry of Otaku. The one who posted this initially, and the person who's recording this video and talking is called Ministry of Otaku on Twitter. As far as I'm aware, they're not banned. Still have shit tons of followers. Elon has not banned them. As I said, pedo hives absolutely thriving in the conservative dark age of the internet. There's a reason why. This is basically the result of everyone's attention being diverted from real, like, pedophiles over to, like, this fantasy that trans people are grooming kids. No one's paying attention to the real pedophiles, and they're just absolutely flourishing without anybody looking. Check out this video of what it's like to encounter a Lolicon in real life. If you can't tell because the low resolution, this sign says fetishizing lollies equals pedos. Or equals pedo. Or pedophilia.
Boo! Seriously? You in for a fight? Oh, you serious? You looking for a fight with that sign? Fetishizing lollies? Pedophilia? You really looking for a fight? Seriously? Seriously? Looking for a fight?
I like how he says at the end, like, looking for a fight? Yeah, she's cosplaying Tifa Lockhart. Based cosplayer, by the way. Yeah, I need you guys to understand that these people in the like, the right is not only stoking genocidal hatred against the trans community, but simultaneously creating a landscape for these people to fucking thrive. These literal, actual pedophiles to thrive. These open, admitted pedophiles to thrive. If somehow you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, subscribe, ring the bell icon, follow my social medias, all linked down below. And yeah, with all that said, I really appreciate your support no matter how you lent it to me. And with all that said, have a good one.